Hey everyone, welcome back to Deep Sleep History. I am so glad you are here tonight. So tonight, we are traveling to one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever known. We are going to ancient Rome, the Eternal City, an empire that shaped the world we still live in today. Get comfortable now. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften. There is nothing you need to do right now except rest. Let the sounds of the modern world fall away, and let my voice carry you back through time, across the centuries, to a world of marble and moonlight. Imagine standing on one of the 7 hills of Rome as the evening sun turns the sky to copper and rose. Below you, a vast city stretches out in every direction. Marble temples glow in the fading light. Columns rise tall against the sky. The Tiber River winds through the valley like a ribbon of dark silk, carrying boats and reflections of torchlight along its surface. According to legend, Rome was founded in 753 BC by twin brothers, Romulus and Remus. Abandoned as infants on the banks of the Tiber, they were found and nursed by a she-wolf. When they grew to manhood, they decided to build a city, but they quarreled over where to place its walls. Romulus killed his brother and named the city after himself, Roma. From those mythic beginnings on a muddy hillside above the Tiber, Rome grew into something the ancient world had never seen before. Not just a city, but an idea, a system of laws, roads, armies, and institutions so powerful and so organized that it would eventually stretch from the cold mists of Britain to the scorching sands of Mesopotamia. The 7 hills of Rome, the Palatine, the Aventine, the Capitoline, the Quirinal, the Viminal, the Esquiline, and the Caelian, each held its own character and its own stories. The Palatine became the hill of emperors and palaces. The Capitoline held the great temple of Jupiter, king of the gods. The Aventine was the hill of the common people. For nearly 500 years, Rome was not ruled by emperors at all. It was a republic, governed by elected officials and guided by the Senate, a council of Rome's wealthiest and most powerful citizens. The word republic comes from the Latin res publica, meaning the public thing, the idea that the state belonged to the people. Roman citizens took fierce pride in their republic. They believed that no single man should hold too much power. 2 consuls were elected each year, each one able to veto the other, ensuring that authority was always shared. It was an imperfect system, but it produced some of the most remarkable leaders, lawmakers, and thinkers in all of history. Among the greatest threats Rome ever faced was the Carthaginian general Hannibal Barca. In 218 BC, Hannibal did what everyone said was impossible. He marched an army of 50,000 soldiers and dozens of war elephants across the Alps, through freezing mountain passes, and down into Italy itself. It was one of the most audacious military campaigns in history. For 16 years, Hannibal roamed the Italian countryside, winning battle after devastating battle. At Cannae, he destroyed an entire Roman army of 80,000 men in a single afternoon. Rome trembled, but did not fall. Slowly, painfully, the Romans adapted and endured, until finally they carried the war to Carthage itself. Rome survived because it refused to surrender. The Republic eventually gave way to empire. After decades of civil war, a young man named Octavian emerged as the sole ruler of Rome. He took the title Augustus, the revered one, and became the first emperor. Augustus transformed Rome from a city of brick into a city of marble. He built temples, forums, libraries, and monuments that dazzled the ancient world. Augustus ruled for over 40 years, bringing peace and prosperity to an empire exhausted by generations of conflict. This era became known as the Pax Romana, the Roman peace. Trade flourished. Roads connected every corner of the empire. The population of the city of Rome grew to over 1 million people, the largest city the world had ever seen. not all emperors were wise. Nero, who ruled from 54 to 68 AD, began his reign with promise, but descended into cruelty and excess. When a great fire devastated Rome in 64 AD, destroying 10 of the city's 14 districts, Nero was rumored to have played music while the city burned. He rebuilt the city in a grand style, but at enormous cost to his people. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled from 161 to 180 AD, was the philosopher emperor. A devoted student of Stoic philosophy, he spent his evenings writing his private journal, a work we now call the Meditations. In it, he reflected on duty, mortality, the nature of suffering, and the importance of living with wisdom and compassion. He wrote about accepting what cannot be changed, doing what is right regardless of reward, and finding peace within yourself even when the world around you is in turmoil. His words have survived nearly 2,000 years and still bring comfort to millions of readers today. He believed that the purpose of life was to serve others and to live according to nature. But the true story of Rome is not only told through its emperors and generals. It is told through the daily lives of ordinary Romans. Bakers, merchants, teachers, farmers, fishermen, and craftspeople who filled the streets of Rome with noise and laughter, and the smell of fresh bread and roasting meat every single day. A Roman day began early. The streets of Rome came alive at dawn, as merchants opened their stalls and shopkeepers rolled back their wooden shutters. The smell of baking bread drifted from the corner bakery, where round loaves were pulled from clay ovens and stacked for sale. Vendors called out their wares from every doorway and street corner. The Roman Forum was the beating heart of public life. It was a vast open square surrounded by temples, government buildings, law courts, and shops. Here senators debated, lawyers argued their cases, merchants struck deals, and citizens gathered to hear the latest news. On festival days, the forum was decorated with garlands of flowers and filled with music and ceremony. Romans loved their public baths. The great bath complexes were architectural marvels with heated pools, cold plunge pools, saunas, exercise courtyards, libraries, and gardens. Admission was cheap or free, making the baths accessible to nearly everyone. Rich and poor bathed side by side. It was the social center of Roman life, a place to relax, exercise, gossip, and do business. The Colosseum, the Flavian amphitheater, could seat 50,000 spectators. It hosted gladiatorial combat, wild animal hunts, and elaborate recreations of famous battles. The arena floor could be flooded for mock naval engagements. An enormous canvas awning called the Velarium could be extended over the crowd to provide shade from the sun. Roman food was far more varied than most people imagine. Wealthy Romans dined on roasted dormice, flamingo tongues, and peacock eggs. But ordinary Romans ate well too. Bread and olive oil were staples. Lentil soup, cheese, figs, grapes, pork sausages, and fish sauce called garum flavored almost everything. Wine was mixed with water and drunk at every meal. The Romans worshipped a vast family of gods and goddesses. Jupiter, the king of the gods, ruled the sky with his thunderbolts. His wife Juno was the protector of women and the state. Mars, the god of war, was the father of Romulus and held a special place in the Roman heart. Venus, the goddess of love, was said to be the ancestor of the Julian family, the line of Julius Caesar. Every Roman home contained a small shrine called a lararium, where the family honored their household gods, the lares and penates. Offerings of food, wine, and incense were made daily. Before every meal, a small portion was set aside for the gods. Religion was not separate from daily life. It was woven into every action, every meal, every decision. As Rome grew and absorbed cultures from across the Mediterranean, new ideas about life and meaning arrived with them. Stoic philosophy, born in Greece but perfected in Rome, taught that happiness comes not from external circumstances, but from the discipline of your own mind. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. Seneca, one of the great Stoic thinkers, wrote letters to his friends about how to live well, how to face death without fear, and how to find calm in the middle of chaos. He believed that every moment of life was a gift, and that wasting it on anger, worry, or regret was the deepest kind of poverty. His words still resonate across the centuries. The Romans were the greatest builders of the ancient world. Their engineering achievements transformed the landscape of Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. Wherever Roman legions marched, roads followed. Straight, paved, and built to last, these roads connected every corner of the empire. Many are still in use today, 2,000 years later. The aqueducts of Rome are among the most impressive engineering feats in history. 11 major aqueducts carried fresh water from mountain springs as far as 60 miles away into the heart of the city. The water flowed by gravity alone, descending at a carefully calculated gradient through tunnels, channels, and soaring stone arches across valleys. The Pantheon, built by Emperor Hadrian around 125 AD, remains one of the most extraordinary buildings ever constructed. Its great dome, 142 feet in diameter, was the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world for nearly 2,000 years. At its peak is the oculus, a circular opening 30 feet wide, open to the sky. When it rains, the water falls through the oculus and strikes the slightly convex marble floor, where a system of hidden drains carries it away. On sunny days, a perfect beam of light moves slowly across the interior as the hours pass. The Pantheon was a temple to all the gods, and standing inside it, even today, you feel something close to the sacred. The roads, the aqueducts, the temples, the amphitheaters, wherever you travel in the lands that were once part of the empire, from Spain to Syria, from England to Egypt, you will find the remains of Rome, arches that still stand, walls that still hold, mosaics that still shimmer with color beneath the dust of centuries. Rome built for eternity, and in many ways, it succeeded. Before you drift all the way off to sleep, if you enjoyed tonight's journey through ancient Rome, I would really love it if you subscribe to the channel. It genuinely means so much. New episodes come out every week, covering different civilizations and stories from the ancient world. Just hit the subscribe button right below the video. Thank you so much for being here. Now let ancient Rome hold you gently. Let the warm stone of the old city release the last of the day's heat into the cool evening air. Imagine the soft glow of oil lamps and torches reflected in the waters of the Tiber, casting long, flickering shadows across the marble columns and the silent forums below. Imagine the distant sound of a fountain splashing softly in a courtyard somewhere nearby, the murmur of the river flowing over ancient stones, the faint sound of someone playing a lyre in a garden behind a wall. The city is settling into sleep, and you can settle too. Imagine the sky above you, wide and deep and filled with stars. The same stars that Roman soldiers watched from distant frontier walls. The same stars that poets and philosophers studied and named. The same stars that have been watching over this ancient city since the very first stones were laid upon the hills above the river. You are held by something very old and very steady. You are cradled by one of humanity's greatest stories. 2,000 years of civilization surround you like walls of warm marble. There is nothing left to do tonight. Nowhere to be. Nothing to solve or fix or worry about. Just this warm ancient darkness, and the slow, steady rhythm of your own breathing. In and out, in and out. Let your body grow heavy and still. Let your thoughts soften and dissolve like reflections in the river current. You are safe. You are held. And everything in this moment is exactly as it should be. Sleep now, Let the stones of Rome carry you gently into the deepest, most peaceful rest. Let the eternal city watch over you through the night. Good night.